Welcome to Cars and Aircraft Explained.
Today, we're diving into a supercar that isn't just another fast Ferrari. Oh no, it's something far more special, something way more raw. This is the story of the F50, a car with a direct, unfiltered connection to the absolute pinnacle of motorsport.
You know, the F50 is such a fascinating puzzle. It showed up in an era of supercar excess, but it deliberately wasn't the fastest car out there. And it had basically zero creature comforts. So you gotta ask, what was the point? Well, that's exactly the question we're here to answer.
Okay, so to really get the F50, you have to understand its mission. Ferrari was hitting its 50th anniversary, right? The easy route would have been some big, powerful, luxurious grand tour. But they chose a much harder, much more radical path, one that created something that was honestly more race car than supercar. Ferrari's whole mission was built on these totally uncompromising principles. And look, these weren't just marketing buzzwords. Not at all. This was a hardcore engineering mandate. Every single decision came back to one thing, using real-deal Formula One tech to give the driver an authentic race car feel, even if that meant throwing everything else out the window for the sake of purity. So, at the end of the day, the F50 had one singular purpose. It was a direct translation of a Formula One car, made just barely legal enough to wear a license plate. That's it. Nothing more, nothing less. And that whole mission really starts with the heart of the machine, the single most important part of the F50, the thing that gives it its soul. A real, honest-to-goodness racing engine.
So the numbers here are pretty impressive, even by today's standards. I mean, 520 horsepower from a naturally aspirated V12 is serious stuff. But just look at that red line, 8,500 RPM. That's where the magic is. This wasn't some lazy, low-revving engine. It was built to absolutely scream, and it had these exotic internals, like titanium connecting rods, pulled straight from their racing program.
And this quote right here, it highlights the fundamental difference. See, most supercars, they use a really powerful road engine. But Ferrari? They did the exact opposite. They took a slightly detuned version of their 1990 Formula One engine and did the absolute bare minimum to make it last on the street. The pedigree is just completely different. And that Formula One connection, oh, it gets even deeper. The engine wasn't just sitting in the car, it was a part of the car's structure. The rear suspension and the gearbox bolt right to the engine block, which then bolts to the carbon fiber cockpit. This makes the whole chassis incredibly stiff, and it means every single vibration is transmitted directly to the driver. It's just pure, unfiltered engineering. But you know, building a pure driver's car isn't just about what you add. Ferrari's philosophy was just as much about what they decided to take away. The foundation was this unbelievably light and strong carbon fiber tub, just like a race car. And from there, everything, and I mean everything, was about saving weight. The interior is famously Spartan. No radio, no carpets, no glove box, nothing. Every single component was picked for low weight and high stiffness, all to create the most responsive machine possible. This whole philosophy of purity, it went way beyond just the hardware. It really defined the entire driving experience. Or maybe more accurately, the complete lack of electronic filters between you, the driver, and the road. The F50 is a purely analog machine. There is no power steering to numb the feedback from the road, no traction control to save you if you make a mistake, and absolutely no turbochargers to muffle that incredible V12 sound. Every single input you make goes directly to the machine, and that demands a level of engagement that's almost unheard of today. And hey, make no mistake, this thing was brutally fast. 0 to 100 kilometers per hour in just 3.7 seconds. So yeah, it was a true performance car by any measure. But chasing a number on a spreadsheet was never the point of this car. Not even close. The true measure of the F50 was something you just can't quantify. The feeling. The vibrations through the seat, the mechanical clack of the gear shift, that unfiltered feedback through the steering wheel. It just felt alive. But for a car that was so pure in its mission, its initial reception was, well, complicated. The F50's legacy really had to be earned over time, as the whole story around it started to get reframed. It seems kind of incredible now, but when the F50 first came out, a lot of the critics just didn't get it. So what happened? Why was this masterpiece so misunderstood? Well, the problem was really all about context. See, the critics were putting it up against the wrong cars. They compared it to its wild predecessor, the F40, and the record-breaking McLaren F1. And when you judge it by their standards, like raw power or ultimate top speed, yeah, the F50 fell a bit short. They were so focused on what it didn't have, they completely missed what it was, the most authentic Formula One experience ever put on the road. You know, time has a funny way of changing our perspective. Today, collectors absolutely celebrate the F50 for the exact reasons it was once criticized. Its lack of comfort, its demanding nature, that direct connection to a racing engine, those are now seen as its greatest strengths. It's valued for its absolute, uncompromising purity. In the end, it's pretty simple. The F50 isn't a supercar that feels a little bit like a race car. It is a race car that was almost reluctantly given license plates. And that really leaves us with a final thought, doesn't it? The F50 stands as this incredible monument to an analog, unfiltered driving experience. And as modern cars get faster and safer and just infinitely more capable, it's worth asking ourselves, have we lost that raw, pure connection between driver and machine that makes a car like this so incredibly special?